I'm just finished work and I'm all excited. I'm heading off down to the lake fishing for the weekend, and I stopped in the shop and bought some apples and bananas for the donkeys. And you won't believe what I got in the shop. I got this tent, a 4-man tent, and it's guaranteed for 2 years. And it cost €14.99. I can't leave that behind me. I'm looking forward to testing out my new tent, and I can't wait to meet the donkeys, hopefully if they're at the gate. No sign of the donkeys. After buying the bananas and the apples, no sign of them. We'll carry on to the lake. Come on, lads. Move it there, fella. Come on. There must be sunstroke. Come on, move it. Bloody hell, where'd they gone? Where did they go? Bloody hell. I just met a woman walking along the road there with a dog, and I stopped the car and I asked her, was she from the local area? And she said, I am. Why, she says. And I asked her, do you know where the donkeys have gone? I do, she says. They're at the back of the house. They're my donkeys. Why, she said, what do you want to know where the donkeys are? And I said, I have bought apples for them. And I said I was going to give them an apple. And I said, is there any chance of going in and giving them an apple? And she said, no, it's private property. So the donkeys missed out again. They missed out again on the apples. Cheers. I'm starving. I'm just realising how hungry I am. Anyway, we'll put a bit of bread into the net for the fish. I'm going to try and catch a bit of bait while we're getting the boat ready. Hey, look what I just found. I'll tie my the end of my net onto this sheep's head or sheep's skull, so it won't float away. Doesn't look very nice, but that's nature. I walked into a branch really hard. I thought I was bleeding there, but I look okay. I think I'm alright. That's just sweat. I thought I was bleeding. We're alright, we'll survive. I like a nice clean boat. She's respectable now, respectable. I caught nothing up there in the net, but here at the side of the boat I've seen shoals of minnows, so I'm going to throw it in at the side of the boat. There's water coming out of this hole here. The next time I'm down, I must bring down maybe a bit of putty or a bit of fiberglass, get all the water out and cover up the hole. That's a job I must do next. I got loads of minnows. Loads of minnows in a couple of minutes. That came in very handy. Very handy. We'll leave it there until the next day. It's great to be back on the beach, and I have it all to myself. You can see here, they're all deer prints. They're deer prints. And here, that's a human footprint. They're footprints. Very, very small little footprint. That's it, small little man. A small little fisherman's after coming here, and he's had his bit of grub here. They look fairly fresh. The last day or two, somebody was here. Some fisherman with small feet was here fishing. There's a lovely breeze blowing. It's a beautiful breeze. It's very warm and very sunny. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up my new tent. I'm going to put up my new tent and see what does it look like. And I'm going to make a bit of grub. And then later on this evening, I'll go out fishing. That's the best time this evening. I'll get out fishing this evening. But for now, I'll put up my tent. I don't need to look at instructions. I'm a professional. I'm very impressed. This here on my old tent, this covers that area to keep the rain out, but it's tied on, that you're not looking for it, that it's always there. That's very smart. Whoever thought of doing that is a bloody genius. These little fellas, they're a waste of time. They're no good to me. I'll have to use my old ones. These are the ones you want. They're heavy duty. They're the boys. I turn my back for a second and my tent has blown up there into the bloody bushes. I'm very impressed with this tent. Very impressed. This here, the zip isn't here. And this is covering the zip area. So the rain will run down. It won't go near the zip. And it'll run down here, the rain, and it won't even go into the tent. Oh my God! There's room for a pony, and there's a little window with a fine mesh to keep the flies out. And that's like a little tiny little window to let air in. €14.99 and a 2-year guarantee. You couldn't go wrong. I'm absolutely delighted. Not a drop of water. Not a drop of water anywhere inside the tent. That's just unbelievable. Bone dry. Bone dry. I'm delighted with that. Delighted with it. Absolutely thrilled. I've worked up a fierce thirst. Time to cool off before dinner. Don't dice your chicken breasts like this without a chopping board. I'm a professional. Health and safety. Always wash your hands after handling raw chicken. And we'll have some Asian stir fry. And some rice. And plenty of beer. And Uncle Ben's sweet and sour chicken. I've been suffering with a sore back for months, and my doctor said she was sending me for an MRI, and the results came back, and she told me I have a bulging disc, and she's after putting me on 10 painkillers a day, along with all my other tablets I'm on. And I tell you, I feel absolutely fantastic. She's sending me for physiotherapy, and I'm getting injections into my back. I think it's called cortisone, something like that. But I tell you, I never felt so good. I sat there eating my beautiful chicken dish. And I think I must have been the happiest man in the whole world. Life doesn't get much better. It was time to head out onto the lake and try and catch a fish. I casted my flies out and retrieved them slowly. There was a beautiful breeze and there was a lovely wave, and I was having no luck. I couldn't rise a trout. I didn't see a fish jumping anywhere. Eventually I went trolling with a floating and a sink tip line. I trolled all around the lake for ages, hoping to catch a fish. And eventually I hooked into a fish, a small little fella. A beautiful little fish, too small, a slippery little fella. And I threw him back eventually, hoping we'd meet again in the future. I enjoyed a beautiful can of Guinness. And I caught another beautiful trout, but too small to bring home with me. Eventually, I finished my beautiful Guinness and decided to call it a day. I'm sitting here in my chair on the beach looking at the lake. It's late. And I'd like to light a little fire. But there's a good breeze blowing. And I'd be afraid maybe it'll spark with the breeze. If there was no breeze, I'd light a small fire for a bit of company. But there's a good old breeze blowing and it's
a bit dangerous with the sparks. So I think I'll just give it a skip. I'll have a few Jamesons and I'll just go to bed. I don't bother with any fire. Nah, it's just too windy.
Cheers! Cheers for the chest! Cheers for the chest! Unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and eventually my cooker went out. For the chest. It's time for bed. I'm calling it a night. Tomorrow is another day. And I feel great. I'm going out fishing to try and catch a fish. That's what I came here for. Cheers. I headed off out onto the lake, trolling my flies. And I was having no luck. So I started drifting along in the beautiful breeze, fly fishing, hoping to catch a fish. Eventually, I decided to use a little dead minnow. The lake was after getting a bit calmer, the breeze was gone, and I cast it out as far as I could and left it sink down deep. And I reeled in very, very, very slowly, hoping to attract a big fish. I'm having no luck. I can't catch a fish. And I've tried hard. Some people say to me, "How do you have the patience?" And I say to them, "You don't need patience for doing something that you love." That's my answer. Well, it can only get better. I go back trolling again. The breeze has died down. I go back trolling again. I eventually caught a trout. I couldn't believe it. I caught a trout. He wasn't a very big trout, but I think it might have been the nicest trout I've ever seen. That is a handsome looking trout. At least I know there is one trout in the lake. I think it's time to go in. After catching my fish, it's time to have the breakfast. The luxury wipe. And they smell beautiful. I smell absolutely beautiful. I smell gorgeous. Luxury wipe, they're the best. Now I must wash my frying pan and give it a good cleaning. Health and safety. As good as new. The luxury wipe is the best. I must put my tent away and tidy away all my gear. And don't forget to bring your rubbish home with you and your bread. I put my cooker back. Health and safety. Make sure it's turned off. Leave the place as you found it. I headed out onto the lake, hoping the fishing was after improving. I left my flies out behind the boat and started praying for a fish. I went near the trees and any rocky outlets. I tried them all great spots to catch a fish. I went in near little feeder streams. I was having no luck and eventually decided to take off my two very natural looking flies and I put on two very gaudy looking flies to see would they bring me luck. And eventually I hook a fish. A beautiful trout. And I was all delighted and I decided I'd keep this one for my wife's dinner. I caught a couple of more small trout and I put them back and I had lots of fun out on the lake. But eventually it was time to call it a day. I was heading home. And then I spotted this poor dead cormorant. Uneducated guess he died from starvation because he couldn't catch a fish out of the lake. I beat the rain. I beat the rain.
I just beat the rain. Goodbye, striking catch. Until the next day. Mistakes in that there, but anyway, you get the gist of it. That's a beautiful piece of music by Lionel Richie called Endless Love. And in this video, there's lots of endless love. The first time I ever went fishing, I didn't catch a fish. And it was an endless love affair with fishing. The first time I went camping, I've been camping ever since. The first time I ever had a glass of Jameson, I had an endless love affair with the bottle of Jameson. And the first time I had a sausage, I knew I'd eaten these things until the day I die. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. The fishing wasn't great, and my excuse this time is it was too warm. I hope you enjoy my next video. Until then, good luck! Good luck!